This week I'm driving the 2021 Genesis GV70 Sport Plus. The GV70 is the new compact sport SUV for the Genesis brand, so it's just under the GV80. The one behind me is the Sport Plus edition, so it's got more power, it's more sportier, I could say. First of all, you can notice this one's got all the dark treatment, so dark grille. Underneath also it's all dark. If you get a lower trim level, everything's going to be chrome. I really like the design, especially the headlights. I like those. These are really good looking, just like the G70. On the side we've got some 21 inches wheels, and you can notice the pattern inside of the wheels. It's similar to the ones you'll find here in the front bumper and also in the rear bumper. So really a good attention to details on the design side for Genesis. If we step on the side, we can notice this is a sport coupe SUV by the shape of it. Really good looking SUV. In the back we can notice we have those really long tail lights, really cool design, really nice rear end. And finally we've got a dual exhaust. These gonna be more oval. The other model is going to be different, and once again we've got the same pattern as the one you can find on the wheels. To open your trunk, you have to press a button just right here underneath the rear wiper blade, and as you can see, decent amount of space inside of the trunk for the size of this SUV, so you can carry a bunch of stuff, especially golf bags and all the fancy stuff you can carry in your fancy Genesis. Stepping at the back of the GV70, it's a surprise this week because you know, usually when I get in the back of a coupe SUV, I don't have any headrooms, and it's not the case here. I've got decent amount of headroom. It's a big surprise. Usually it's one of the sacrifices you have to do when you're choosing a coupe SUV. Leg-wise, you know, I'm not able to fit behind myself, but still it's a small compact SUV. So overall, the rear space, it's pretty good for the size of this SUV. One cool gadget you'll find on the GV70, it's on the remote. You can really play with the parking. It's kind of like a park assist, I could say. So once you start the GV70, you can either move it forward or backward. So you press on the remote and the GV70 is gonna move forward, or now I'm gonna do a little reverse. So if you're in a tight spot, you have a hard time to get out of your car, you can move it, or you need some little adjustment. Say you know, you didn't park as close as you wanted to the other border of the parking lot, so you can make a quick adjustment with your remote. It's a cool gadget, you know, and it's easy to use. Under the hood we can find a V6 3.5 liter twin turbo, good for 375 horsepower and 391 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to an 8-speed transmission. So this is the big engine, the big power you can get under the hood of the GV70. This is due because this is the Sport Plus trim. You can also opt for the other optional engine, the 2.5 liter turbo, when you have a lower trim level. So this is the big power for the Genesis GV70. We'll see on the road if this is enough to compete against the German products. On the road, the GV70 is really comfortable. You know, the comfort, I think, is the priority at Genesis. You know, it feels like you're driving like a Lincoln, a Buick, or something like that. You don't feel behind the wheel of a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz. The seats are super comfortable. The ride is really good. Even if we're on big wheels, big 21 inches wheel, the ride is fantastic. And on a daily basis, it's something you really want out of your luxury SUV. You know, I drove several high-performance BMW SUV lately. The suspension was super hard Of course, you know, you've got amazing handling, amazing feedback in the steering wheel. It's super sharp, it's super sporty, but on a daily basis, especially here in Canada, and we don't have the best condition of roads, you want something that's going to be easier a little bit on your bums and back. So on a daily basis, this thing is way much more comfortable. But again, sometimes when it's more comfortable, you have to sacrifice a little bit on the handling. That's one thing. It's not a big sacrifice, I could say, for the Genesis. But performance-wise, the engine, you know, because, you know, the calibration is not really there. The way the power feels, it looks good on paper, but you know, the behind the wheel is not that quick. You know, obviously any, you know, German competitor will be sharper, faster and all that. Mechanic wise, you know, I'm not a big fan of, you know, the engine, the transmission and all that. I don't feel behind a Sport Plus machine. But overall this week I didn't enjoy, you know, pushing this SUV, you know, trying the handling and all that. I think it was suited to be in comfort mode, you know, riding slowly, driving, you know, on a normal pace, not in a hurry, just relaxing. I think that's the main purpose of this G70. Even if it tries to be sport, it's not there with the Germans. But otherwise, you know, style wise, you know, the exterior, it's amazing, it looks good. I think it's one of the best looking sport SUV in this class, maybe the best one. Interior wise, it's amazing, comfortable seats. Just the design of this interior, it's just like you're inside of a Bentley. It's really similar. The mix of colors and all that, everything looks good. You have a place to recharge your phone wirelessly. You can close that little compartment. You've got a good looking steering wheel. You don't have that ugly steering wheel you'll find in the GV80. So that's a big plus. You know, I like that carbon fiber, big carbon fiber finish. The mix of red and black. You know, I know it's kind of flashy, that interior this week, but I love it. You know, it's different, it's unique from the other competitor on the market. And also you've got a long screen at more than 12 inches. It works pretty well once you're used to that knob. You know, after, you know, driving several Genesis products, I'm getting used to it. I could say, if you're not really good with technology, at first it might be complicated, but after a while, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, you get used to it. Also, the cluster in front of me, they're 3D LCD screen, really nice looking. It's kind of funky at first because it's 3D, so sometimes when you move your head or you don't really focus on the cluster, it can get kind of like blurry, but once you're used to it, they're really good looking. And they're changing while you're changing your modes and all that. Interior wise, you know, I have no complaint. In the back I can fit, even if this SUV is kind of like a coupe SUV, and this GV70, you've got a good trunk and all that. You know, overall, you know, super good looking SUV in and out. It's just missing some good powertrain. You know, if you put a AMG motor with a good transmission, or even maybe an electric powertrain, it would be better than this. I know this is the high performance engine for Genesis, but it's not there with the competition. Fuel economy wise, this week I was averaging 11.6 liters per 100 kilometers. This is okay numbers, I could say. This is kind of like the sacrifice you have to make in between performance and fuel economy. It's right there in that sweet spot. You know, you don't get big power, but at least you get some fuel economy numbers. That's what you gotta find inside of the GV70. So with those numbers, they're not good, but they're okay. Price wise, you can get a GV70 base model for $49,000. This is amazing value for the design. And the model I'm driving this week, $75,500. For $75,500, now you're playing in the big boy league kind of price. Obviously, for the same price. It's really hard for the competition to get all the option, all the good looking design and all that you'll get in the Genesis. So this is like the strong point for this products, you know, the overall package for the price, the value, it's really hard to beat. And you know, for the same kind of price, you'll find some, you know, maybe base model with the performance package in the competition, but when you're adding all the option, it gets really pricey, especially with the German brands. So that's the big plus for the Genesis products. It's really the price for the value, and also you've got a good warranty and all that. So this is really, you know, the packaging for the price. That's what you get with the Genesis. So overall, if you want a sport SUV who looks good inside and out, the performance, the mechanic, the powertrain is not a priority for you, this is one of the best value you'll find in that specific market. If you're a little bit more picky on the powertrain, the transmission, the sound of your SUV, you know, you might be disappointed with the GV70. You know, it's pumping some fake noises to the cabin through the speakers and all that. There's no popping you'll find just like an Audi or a BMW. So, you know, overall amazing look, amazing product. It's just need that, you know, little thing more in the powertrain. But overall, I think if this GV70 had a fancier engine, more performance, better transmission and all that, it would be probably the same price as the German products. So overall, really good SUV, one of the best looking on the market by far. Good value for your money. So let me know, do you like the design of this GV70? I think it looks way better than the GV80. I think style wise, this thing can compete against any brand, that's for sure. Let me know in the comments what you think. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also in the description, you'll find some links to my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And we're gonna see each other on the next review.